We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob, and you're listening to episode number 326. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, as always.
We really do. And thank you for following us on Instagram, @TheDroneU, on Twitter, @TheDroneU, and Facebook.com/DroneU. We're not a news farm like other sites, but we're going to give you a little piece of opinion and major news when it does hit. Like last week, NASA actually tested their road management system for the skies for drones. They had 22 drones flying at the same time, and they were able to get information from all of them, know where they were. They actually had simulated planes come in and see if they could, send warnings to all the drones to get out of the way and make them get out of the way. I guess it went really well.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. So
I think that maybe puts some people's mind at ease a little bit.
Well, I think it could be a really big deal for the Amazons of the drones, the logistics drones and whatnot, and having that communication. Because if you think about it right now, if we were to add logistics drones to every city in America, it would be really difficult with the current regulatory framework or lack thereof.
Right.
Because of all the airports and, 5 miles from this airport and 5 miles from that airport, when in all actuality, approach paths change daily with airports. So if we can say, well, the wind is this way, our approach path is this way, logistics drones, you need to stay out of this area, I think it could be really beneficial to the safety and management of the national airspace system.
It's very interesting. So you used the term roadways?
Yeah.
Is that like a kind of a literal path through the air that's considered to be
I wanted
a
to give someone a visualization of what that would look like.
Yeah, it makes me think, obviously there are movies or, I don't know, the Jetsons, the cartoon The Jetsons, right, where they're flying through the air and there's essentially roads in the air.
Or Star Wars.
Any of those things.
Or Back to the Future.
Very cool.
We were supposed to have flying cars by 2015. What happened?
I don't know.
2016. They were 1 year off.
It's Obama's fault. They're just sitting there in a warehouse ready. But Obama won't let it happen.
I'm sure that's the case.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I guess we should get into today's question, which is a pretty good one. Rob did bring some extra costumes for this one.
Yeah, just in case you're wondering.
So if you're listening to the podcast, you got to head over to YouTube and see what Rob is wearing on his dome
for the anti-glare effect.
Hey, you know what? It's working great, Rob.
It's making me dizzy.
I can't see.
Squeezing my head.
So now when we know when we want something from Rob, how we can get it.
How's that?
Squeeze your head with this thing. Right. You're like, no, okay, I'll buy it, okay.
All right, let's read the question from David Douglas.
Today's question is brought to you by... Are you a drone pilot? Are you operating under a Section 333 exemption? Then you may be familiar with Item 27, which requires you to get a property release for every flight over property.
Legal Flyer is an app for iPhone and iPad that helps you create professional property releases in less time than it takes to do a pre-flight check.
You can add your pilot info, you can sign it, hand it to the property owner for their signature. But wait a second. Legal Flyer's advanced integration automatically adds latitude, longitude, and even altitude.
Then add a panorama straight from the app. Everything drops into a single-page PDF you can share with a single tap. It's compliance at light speed. Visit LegalFlyer.com for more information or get it straight from the App Store. Legal Flyer. Property releases for professional drone pilots.
All right, so this is from David Douglas. Do you, Paul?
Recommends
any particular anti-glare screen covers for iPads or Android tablets.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what's in my hands. But this is the Hoodman Aviation HAV1. That is Hilo Alpha Victor 1.
Good job with your...
Gosh, I had to actually remember what the H was.
What was H?
I am so bad at this. In fact, when I go up for those pilot's lessons, which who knows when that's going to happen with our current schedule, but I'll have to really delve back into that material because it's gone. It's
because you crammed it in there in about 30 minutes.
No, it took me a while. This is the Hoodman screen, though. I love this screen for a couple reasons. Number one, if you can see on YouTube, you can put your hand through it and still play with the iPad. But also, there is another attachment to this that makes it another pretty much twice as long as it is right now. So if you are in a very, very arid, sunny environment, like here in New Mexico or Arizona, you have a lot more glare protection. But I will say this, I rarely use this thing.
Why?
Because normally when I'm flying my Inspire, I get my iPhone out, my iPad, set my camera settings, unplug my phone, and put on a real screen.
Yeah, which is?
The FlySight Black Pearl. Just because, honestly, you lose the signal a lot less. It's a much better feed. You can really see the color a lot better. There are downfalls to it, though, too. For example, if you forgot to pull out your phone, if you forgot to pull out your iPad and set your phone settings, you'll see a beautiful screen, but your picture could be completely blown out. So I've done that before, actually.
But that has actually been a staple of yours as long as I've known you. It's been consistent. Not this, the FlySight monitor.
Yeah, the FlySight is just the way to go. No blue screen, HDMI in. It's got a built-in hood on it. It's ready to go. People complain about battery life, which I understand, but there's very easy solutions for backups for that. And frankly, for example, on this most recent trip to Mexico, I used one battery in my FlySight all day long just because I watch it like a hawk. I don't leave it on. As soon as I'm done flying, it's the first thing I turn off.
Right.
So if you're very good, almost to like an anal level of, watching your batteries, you can make the battery last all day long. It'll barely get there, but it will work. If you're shooting constantly, and you're not working with talent, you may have difficulty doing that. But instead of buying those little batteries, what I do is I just take a 3S 2500 milliamp hour battery, use the Dean's connector into the screen itself, and just power it externally.
Yeah.
So, that's what works for me.
Cool. What does one of these cost?
I think that was like $39.99.
So not too expensive.
You know what I'll do is I will get the Amazon link and I will give it to John to put in the show notes. He's going to write that down so I don't forget. Actually, he's going to write that down so I don't forget. He keeps forgetting that he's supposed to do what we tell him.
I don't think he cares, actually.
He better care. He's going to write me a little love note.
Up yours? I think that's going to be his love note.
All right, so the second part of this question, which we get a lot of email questions, so that's why this week you may be hearing some really funny accents because probably we're doing it. The thing is, though, is that people really are asking questions via email, via messages, via Facebook. I have over 300 on Reddit that I haven't gotten to. They're everywhere. And this is our avenue to answer the questions. Anyway, so go to astroneu.com if you want priority, upload your question. We greatly appreciate it. Second part of this question, has anyone ever used or suggested a digital rangefinder to more accurately measure distances in open areas like that? I don't know what he means by like that. Thoughts, suggestions, recommendations, ?
Yeah. It's actually an interesting question. I don't know if he's just talking about distance from people, for example.
I think he's trying to measure focal distance because if you notice on some cameras, there's a line on the top of the camera where you can actually measure focal distance from.
Okay.
So you can get an idea of what lens you want to use if you're using interchangeable lenses like with the X5. I've never heard of anyone using a digital rangefinder. Vic was doing a test with his X5 and the different lenses he was using, but he was actually measuring distances on Google Maps, just literally, using the ruler tool.
This isn't a bad idea, though.
No, it's not.
if it's good enough for golf.
Yeah, but golf, you're actually trying to put a ball in a 3-inch hole.
I'm just trying to say it's not a bad idea. You're judging me.
I'm not judging you. Okay, maybe a little. Anyway,
I'm used to it.
I guess I'm just having a hard time seeing where it would be truly useful and beneficial. if you're shooting wide open scenes, yeah, I could say, okay, well, maybe we need to be about 3 or 4 miles closer to the foothills in order to really showcase the mountains, because it's going to be super wide. I guess I could see that, but frankly, for me, it's just been this shot I'll take off. This shot isn't what I want. Let's go a lot closer. So I fly closer. I'm sure that in some movie productions, this would be a very useful tool.
Yeah, I would think there are instances where it could be a good tool. But again, we're not really sure what he means by like that. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to answer the question.
It is, but it's okay because we like difficult questions. Anyway, I hope that does answer your question, Mr. Douglas. Thank you for sending that in. Again, guys, if you have a question, go to askdroneyou.com and upload that question via audio. We really love hearing your audio. We're working on giving away some new swag. We got a couple of things coming up that I've been investigating. I like. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Greatly appreciate you listening in. Greatly appreciate those reviews that you've been giving us. They really do make a difference, and they help other people find us. It's awesome. So thank you very much. That's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul.
I'm Rob.
This is Ask Drone U.
We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.